The journey of an INFJ often feels like walking through a crowded room where everyone speaks a different language. While they possess an innate ability to understand and connect with others on a profound level, many INFJ find themselves gravitating towards solitude, embracing what has come to be known as the lone wolf syndrome. This isn't merely a preference for alone time, it's a complex interplay of their unique cognitive functions, emotional depth, and the challenges they face in a world that often seems to operate on a completely different wavelength. Understanding the INFJ personality more than just another personality type. The INFJ personality type, standing for introverted, intuitive, feeling and judging, represents the rarest combination of psychological preferences in the Myers-Briggs type indicator MBTI. Making up less than 1% of the population, INFJ often find themselves in a unique position of being able to understand others deeply while feeling profoundly misunderstood themselves. This paradox creates the foundation for their tendency towards solitude and self-imposed isolation. INFJ possess a cognitive stack that sets them apart from other personality types. Their dominant function, introverted intuition (I), works like an internal pattern recognition system, constantly processing information and making connections that others might miss. This is paired with their auxiliary function, extroverted feeling (Phi), which gives them their remarkable ability to understand and empathize with others' emotions. The combination of these functions creates a personality type that is simultaneously deeply introspective and highly attuned to the emotional states of others. The genesis of the lone wolf tendency in INFJ. The development of lone wolf syndrome in INFJ isn't a sudden occurrence, but rather a gradual response to their experiences in a world that often feels overwhelming and superficial. From an early age, many INFJ realize they process information and emotions differently from their peers. They might find themselves overwhelmed by the intensity of their perceptions and the depth of their emotional responses to situations that others seem to take in stride. This heightened sensitivity extends beyond just emotional awareness. INFJ often experience sensory overload in environments that others find perfectly comfortable. Bright lights, loud noises, strong smells, and crowded spaces can feel intensely overwhelming. This sensory sensitivity, combined with their emotional perceptiveness, creates a need for regular periods of solitude to process and recover from the constant input they receive. The emotional burden of the INFJ empath. One of the most challenging aspects of being an INFJ is their natural empathic ability. Unlike simple emotional awareness, INFJ empathy involves absorbing and experiencing others' emotions as if they were their own. This deep emotional connection can be both a blessing and a curse. While it allows them to understand and help others in profound ways, it also means they often carry the emotional weight of everyone around them. This emotional absorption isn't selective. INFJ pick up on both positive and negative emotions from their environment. In a world full of stress, anxiety, and unprocessed emotions, this can lead to emotional exhaustion. Many INFJ find themselves unconsciously withdrawing from social situations as a form of self-preservation, creating boundaries that protect their emotional well-being, but also reinforce their isolation. The challenge of authentic connection in a surface-level world. Perhaps one of the most frustrating aspects of the INFJ experience is their deep yearning for authentic connection, coupled with their difficulty in finding it. INFJ crave conversations that go beyond surface-level pleasantries, seeking to understand the deeper meanings and motivations behind human behavior. However, in a world where small talk and casual interactions are the norm, they often find themselves feeling like outsiders. The INFJ's aversion to small talk isn't merely a preference, it's rooted in their cognitive functions. Their introverted intuition seeks meaning and patterns, making superficial conversations feel not just boring but almost physically uncomfortable. This creates a cycle where INFJ might withdraw from social situations that don't offer the depth they crave, further reinforcing their lone wolf tendencies. The professional life of an INFJ balancing service and self-preservation. In their professional lives, INFJ often find themselves in helping professions, counselors, teachers, writers, or other roles where they can make a meaningful difference in others' lives. While these roles align with their natural abilities and desires to help others, they can also contribute to their isolation. INFJ frequently become the go-to person for emotional support and advice in their workplace, creating unbalanced relationships where they give more than they receive. This professional dynamic can extend into their personal lives, where INFJ might find themselves constantly in the role of counselor or advisor to friends and family. While they genuinely want to help others, this one-sided dynamic can leave them feeling emotionally drained and lacking in reciprocal support. The social chameleon phenomenon, adaptation vs. Authenticity. One of the less discussed aspects of the INFJ personality is their ability to adapt to different social situations, a trait that can actually contribute to their feelings of isolation. INFJ have an almost chameleon-like ability to mirror the behavior and energy of those around them, making them appear more extroverted and socially comfortable than they actually feel. This adaptability comes at a cost. The energy required to maintain these social personas can be exhausting, and many INFJ find themselves needing significant alone time to recover and reconnect with their authentic selves. This creates a cycle where they might be seen as social and engaging in public, but require extensive solitude to maintain their emotional balance. The perfectionist's dilemma when good relationships aren't good enough. INFJ often struggle with perfectionism, particularly in their relationships. Their idealistic nature leads them to seek perfect understanding and connection, often holding out for relationships that meet their high standards rather than settling for more common, surface-level connections. This perfectionism can lead to a sense of perpetual disappointment and contribute to their tendency to withdraw. Their perfectionism extends beyond just relationship standards. INFJ often have a clear vision of how things should be, whether in their personal lives, work, or the world at large. When reality fails to meet these idealistic expectations, they might retreat into their inner world rather than compromise their values or standards. Modern technology and the INFJ experience. The digital age presents unique challenges and opportunities for INFJ. While technology offers new ways to connect with like-minded individuals, the prevalence of social media and digital communication can feel overwhelming and inauthentic to many INFJ. They might find themselves struggling with the expectation of constant connectivity while yearning for more meaningful interactions. Social media platforms, with their emphasis on surface-level sharing and instant gratification, can feel particularly challenging for INFJ who crave depth and authenticity. Many find themselves caught between wanting to maintain connections and feeling drained by the superficial nature of online interactions. Finding balance, the INFJ's path to healthy solitude. The key to managing lone wolf syndrome for INFJ lies not in fighting against their natural tendencies, but in finding a healthy balance between solitude and connection. This involves understanding that their need for alone time is not a flaw but a necessary component of their well-being. It's about learning to create boundaries that protect their energy while still allowing for meaningful connections. INFJ need to recognize that their version of social connection might look different from others. Quality over quantity becomes particularly important, as does finding ways to engage with others that honor their need for depth and meaning while respecting their energy limits. Building a support system, the INFJ's guide to meaningful connections. While INFJ might naturally tend towards solitude, developing a strong support system is crucial for their well-being. This doesn't mean forcing themselves into numerous social situations, but rather carefully cultivating relationships with people who understand and respect their unique needs and communication style. Finding these connections often involves being selective about social engagements, choosing environments and activities that align with their values and energy levels, and being honest about their needs for both connection and solitude. It might mean having fewer friends but deeper relationships, or maintaining connections through methods that feel authentic and manageable. Professional development and the INFJ path. In their professional lives, INFJ can thrive by finding roles that align with their natural strengths while providing adequate opportunity for solitude and reflection. This might mean seeking positions that allow for independent work combined with meaningful interaction, or creating a career path that honors both their need to help others and their requirement for quiet contemplation. Many INFJ find success in careers that allow them to work independently while still making a positive impact on others' lives. Fields such as writing, counseling, research, or creative pursuits often provide the perfect balance of meaningful work and solitary reflection. The role of creativity in INFJ solitude. Creative expression often becomes a vital outlet for INFJ, providing a way to process their complex inner world and connect with others without the drain of direct social interaction. Whether through writing, art, music, or other creative pursuits, these activities allow INFJ to express their insights and emotions in a way that feels authentic and energizing rather than depleting. This creative expression can serve as a bridge between their inner world and external connections, allowing them to share their perspectives and insights while maintaining the boundary of indirect communication. The spiritual and philosophical dimensions of INFJ solitude. Many INFJ find that their tendency towards solitude has a spiritual or philosophical dimension. Their time alone often involves deep contemplation of life's bigger questions, exploration of spiritual concepts, or development of personal philosophies. This aspect of their solitude can feel particularly meaningful and purposeful, contributing to their personal growth and understanding of the world. Embracing the journey from isolation to intentional solitude. The transformation from feeling isolated to embracing intentional solitude marks a significant milestone in the INFJ's personal development. This shift involves recognizing that their need for alone time isn't a weakness or social failure, but rather a valid and necessary aspect of their personality type. Conclusion: redefining the lone wolf narrative. The journey of an INFJ with lone wolf syndrome isn't about overcoming their solitary nature, but about understanding and embracing it as part of their unique contribution to the world. Their ability to move between deep solitude and meaningful connection, to understand others while maintaining their own boundaries, and to find purpose in their solitary pursuits, makes them not just lone wolves but wise observers and guides for others on similar paths. The key lies in recognizing that being a lone wolf doesn't mean being permanently isolated or unable to connect. Instead, it means having the wisdom to know when to seek solitude and when to engage, when to observe and when to participate, and how to maintain their authentic selves while building meaningful connections with others. For INFJ, the path forward involves accepting their unique nature while developing healthy ways to engage with the world. It's about finding their own rhythm of solitude and connection, creating boundaries that protect their energy while allowing for genuine relationships, and recognizing that their tendency towards solitude might just be one of their greatest strengths. In embracing their lone wolf nature, INFJ often discover that they're not truly alone but rather part of a scattered but connected community of deep thinkers and sensitive souls who understand the value of solitude in an increasingly connected world. Their journey isn't about changing who they are, but about finding and creating spaces where their unique way of being is not just accepted but valued.